Yow! What's going on, guys? Just a quick update from everything on the production side of everything. I had initially included most of this stuff in the deck discussion video that I posted last week. I talked for almost 40 minutes to an hour on just stuff that didn't relate to the deck discussion. I thought maybe I should just post an update video. So most of it was talking about why there hasn't been as much content or gameplay videos that I haven't been really posting as much. And if you're not part of my Discord where most of the announcements come from, then you guys won't know what's going on. So if you guys want to know what's going on, I post all the announcements, regular updates on the Discord, so make sure you join it. All that stuff will be in the description below. So the reason why we have cut back on commentary was a lot of it was repetitive decks, and it was kind of getting stale from I enjoy doing the commentary, but I felt like it was very stale from an audience point of view, right? So the process that we usually take when we do this is we have a couple cameras at our locals. We set it up and then we just record matches. We don't even go by top. We don't do by table. We just say, hey, you guys are playing an interesting deck. We haven't seen you guys in a while, or someone's testing something new, or someone really, really wants to be on camera. We just grab them. We just say, hey, do you guys want to play on camera? If they both say yes and they're both okay with it, then we have them play on a future match. The problem with releasing so many commentary videos at once, so originally my schedule was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I slowly cut it to Tuesday, Thursday, and now I'm kind of just uploading sporadically. So the reason why we've cut back so much was because you would see a lot of the same deck from one night or one local event. And that's kind of not really fun. We kind of want the diversity. We want a variety of different decks to go up. Even though we might see one deck from one video, like for example, we have a lot of our regulars that play. People like Wave Boy, which is Dave, he plays a lot of combo decks. They might not be the same decks because he plays Black Saga Storm, he plays the Epic Storm, he plays Charbelcher, but he rotates through his decks to get like a different rotation going. And then we have people like Jeffrey, who's always playing Mono Black Helm. There's nothing wrong with it. He's practicing, right? He's trying to get better, and that's something that we want to support. That's something we want to reinforce. However, it doesn't make great content if Jeffrey's sitting on one table and he's playing all three matches and all of them are the same deck over and over again. I would like to feature him, right? I want to give everyone a fair chance, but I want to go through a constant rotation, or I want to spice it up. I don't want to have the same decks multiple times a week. And I explained to everybody on Discord that I also want to do a little bit higher quality editing, and I'm like practicing and I'm learning different things. I'm trying, different editing, I guess, effects, not effects, but I'm sure that you guys saw there's a huge difference between the quality of all the face-to-face matches and then our weeklies. I put a ton of effort into the face-to-face stuff. There's hand cams, there's cards thrown up, there's different things, and there's like a new thing that I really want to try for the upcoming invitational that we're going to be doing in a couple weeks. So hopefully when we get all that settled and done, you guys will really enjoy that. And that high effort, higher quality video will most likely be for those larger events. So 1Ks, 2Ks, 3Ks, and any of our Legacy of the North Invitational stuff. Going further, I'm going to be a lot more pickier about the games that we are going to be featuring on the channel. I'm going to continue the same recording process where we record our local metas or our local scenes, but I'm not going to be posting simultaneous games, so round 1, round 2, round 3. Rather, I'm going to see and I'm going to go through and more curate what I think would be interesting games to commentate. So that's going to be what the most common kind of content on the channel is going to be is, the commentary. And I'm going to be exploring different avenues of content. So one of them that I really wanted to do was the deck discussion. And I got a lot of feedback, positive and negative, and I've kind of figured out what I wanted to do. It didn't really come out the way I was hoping, and it's not due to the feedback. During the editing process, I kind of realized that it wasn't what I had hoped. So I continued editing it to the best of my ability. It was quite a long process. It was almost a 2.5 hour record, and we got it down to 40 minutes. So some of the feedback was it was kind of slow, wasn't really exciting, it wasn't interesting enough. A lot of said it was really helpful. It was like almost like a primer. I was really happy to hear all of the feedback, both positive and negative, and it's really helped me decide where I can want to kind of go with it. So I'm going to pitch a couple of ideas. Again, if you guys have advice or comments, anything regarding any of these topics that I'm talking about, let me know in the comment. Even if it's just, hey, that's a stupid idea, or that's a good idea, or can't wait to see it, or like sleepy face. Okay, everything helps. So the two directions I want to take with the deck discussion is I'm gonna break it up into two things. One is more of the primer aspect of what a deck does, sideboard cards. One thing I mentioned in like the earlier stages of the video of the deck discussion was I was going to talk about like specific matchups, and I realized I only ended up talking about maybe one or two, if it was two. I think I talked a lot about mono black against lands and cut a lot of the other stuff about the other matchups, and I didn't realize it until the final cut. So I really want to I think it's too much content or too much of what I want to do put into one video, so I'm deciding to split it. So one is going to be more of a interactive, more hot takey kind of style of content, and then the other one's going to be more of a serious, toned primer, like a deck tech, closer to that. And I think to keep that interesting, and rather because a lot of people do deck techs, I'm going to try to highlight more of the obscure decks in our local metas, and to help support me in that, I'm going to try to grab those deck loyalists or deck specialists in our local meta and invite them on, and then have kind of like a commentary discussion with them. The other one where it's going to be hot takes, well, I don't know if it's going to be hot takes. I'm going to try to my best express my honest feelings and the honest truth about specific things and specific decks and specific cards, just to kind of get a riling response out of a community. I don't know, things like I don't understand why Delver is continued to be played. I don't understand why my local meta doesn't play more Bowmasters, because currently there's 3 or 4 Sneak and Show players, and so many Minds Desired. There's just so many draw based combo decks. I don't know why only 1 or 2 people are playing Bowmasters, like stuff like this. So those are the two kinds of contents that are going to be a result of what I would consider almost a failure of a deck discussion. So yeah, hopefully those two become more successful out of the burning wreckage of that. The last type of content I want to introduce to the Lazy MTG channel is something that's not so legacy focused. I know a lot of you guys are legacy focused, but hopefully you enjoy just hearing about people talk about Magic in general. This is going to be a podcast style piece of content, so it's going to be longer form. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, and I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with starting off not appealing to the audience that I currently have. We tried to do this podcast a long time ago, so my friend Garber and I, and a third party, we wanted to start a podcast, and we wanted to take the unique perspective that I've kind of really made the soul and the heart of this channel, and that is I'm not aimed to help people become tournament winners. I'm not aimed to take someone's who's brand new at Magic, take their hand and guide them on how to play the game. I'm trying to appeal to an audience and just be entertaining for people who are already part of the Magic community and want to explore the legacy format. And I want to kind of kick that a little bit further beyond and spread it into all formats. So this is going to be my content that encompasses all of Magic rather than just focusing on the legacy content. And I think that's what I want to do with this podcast. I'm going to keep the same name. We're going to go with On the Stack. And my co-hosts are going to be my best friend, Johan, which we featured a lot on the other channel and in my streams. If you want to check that out, links in the description. And the other co-host is going to be my friend Garber, which I grew up playing Modern, and I actually grew as a Modern player. And we really had fun, and we just wanted the perspective of people who aren't aiming to win huge tournaments. We can eventually get there, maybe, if we have the drive and passion to do it, and if we can inspire people to do so and to get better. But we're not those people. We are, people who have regular 9 to 5 jobs, or we have other responsibilities, and we play Magic as a hobby, right? We're not trying to make it a career. And we're also people who aren't brand new to the game. So we are quite intermediate players. We understand the rules. We understand the more complicated nuances of the game, and that's what we enjoy, and that's why we want to talk about it. So that's what is going to be the main premise of the podcast. We'll have different topics and genres, but those are the perspectives that we're going to take. Johan, more recently, his engagement with Magic is now focused around Commander. And whereas Garber's perspective is more of an online player where he plays Arena and he plays Magic Online and he plays more of the Wizards competitive supported formats. I wouldn't necessarily call him a grinder, but he does play a lot, and that is, what makes him happy. And that's kind of the perspective I want to clash with mine, which is the perspective of someone who knows the behind the scenes of how local game stores work, how Wizards kind of does their thing interacting with their players. A lot of people are just have the knowledge and experience of being a customer. I have kind of a unique background where I'm kind of like in the middle ground of being someone who distributed Magic and someone who also consumes Magic. I just want to have a space and a piece of content, so the podcast, where we can clash ideas, where I have my perspective as someone who used to be an employee of a local game store, and someone who has a legacy background, and how that clashes with someone who's more of a casual Commander player perspective. And then our experiences will definitely clash with someone like Garber's, who's constantly playing in a competitive environment. So that's the short-term future of the channel, what I have so far. Hopefully you guys will stick through it with me and help me grow this community that I love so much. I am going to be primarily still making legacy content. In my honest belief, the best, most rich, most interactive format of Magic that you can possibly play. But I do want content that attracts everyone, because I just love Magic so much, and I want to share my love with Magic with everyone. So if you play Commander, if you play Pioneer, if you play Modern, even if you play Standard, even though Wizards has abandoned you, I'll try my best not to. So hopefully you'll stick by, and we'll catch you on the next commentary match. I can't believe I forgot to announce. So August 27th is coming up really fast. That is going to be the first time we're throwing our Legacy of the North 32-man Invitational. So if any of you guys don't know what it is, if you're in the Southern Ontario area, please, if you use Facebook, join the Facebook group Legacy of the North. You can find it. It's a public page. If you can't find it on Facebook, or if you don't use Facebook, check it out on Discord. If you need a link, shoot me a message, post in the comments. I will give you a link to the Legacy of the North Discord. If you're unaware of what this is, there are leading pillars. If you don't know, Jim Monolith and Trevor Cordingley, I'm going to give them a quick shout out. These guys have put so much work and passion into building up the legacy community in Southern Ontario, and I'm slowly joining their little team. In short, if you participate in a legacy tournament at your local game store and you have a minimum of 8 players, you can post your standings in there and we'll track the points for you. And by the end of a season, which is usually around 3 or 4 months, we will take their top 10 best results. Whoever has the most points among those results will be invited to play a 32-man tournament, where we treat it almost like a 1K. And there's going to be, tons of prizes. You play for King of the North title. we've got a cool, sweet deal with a bunch of local game stores where if you're crowned King of the North, you'll get free entry for 1 season at participating stores. So we will have coverage for all of that. We're going to be recording, higher tier Magic, higher competitive Magic, similar to the face-to-face series. If you don't know about that, check it out in the playlists on the channel. Super stoked to do commentary for higher level Magic. Really pumped to kind of push my editing skills and introduce a couple more tips and tricks that I've learned, and I'm going to try to implement into the video series for the Invitational. I hope it's a success, and I hope you guys like it. So be on the lookout for that. For all you people who don't watch the end of the video, I just want to say, when I didn't understand why Delver continues to be played, I didn't mean the deck Delver. I meant the card Delver in the deck Delver. I guess it pitches to Force of Will. That's its best use.